we talk a lot about, I know David does and I do on our respective shows, the lies that are told about Biden weaponizing the DOJ and Trump being wrongfully targeted and prosecuted, and it's all terrible and Trump's a big victim. And it's important to call those out because of the dishonesty on its face. And because we want to be accurate and we want to be honest and we want to correct people when they're not being those things. And it's aggravating and rhetorically it's enraging, but it also has real world consequences, these lies. And it's important to note that as well. As media reports, I have an example of this for you. Quote, time is right for a presidential assassination. Utah man who threatened to kill Biden and Trump prosecutors shot dead in FBI raid. So he had been threatening those trying to prosecute Trump and Biden. FBI agents shot and killed a Utah man during a raid on Wednesday morning after he allegedly threatened President Joe Biden and federal prosecutors with assassination. The raid happened hours before Biden was expected to land in the state. According to the FBI, special agents attempted to serve Craig Robertson, a warrant in Provo when the shooting happened at 6:15 a.m. The Associated Press noted that the complaint alleges that Robertson mentioned presidential assassination and made threats against Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and New York Attorney General Letitia James. And you know the common thread through those people is all being individuals that have become targets of Donald Trump's dishonest rhetoric, and he's called them enemies for trying to, or something to this effect, wrongfully prosecute him. That is how they're identified in the minds of his supporters. And so then you have, based on this, Robertson putting on Facebook, the time is right for a presidential assassination or two. First Joe, then Kamala. He was facing 3 criminal counts: interstate threats, threats against the president, and influence, impeding, and retaliating against federal law enforcement officers by threat. And I can't even read this particular quote. It's so vile. But to jump around to a few of these, he said, I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle. We're done here. Oh, that's so. Then before reading more of these quotes, he was confronted by FBI agents before they had a warrant. They came to his home and he said, after a little bit of an exchange, we're done here. Don't return without a warrant. So then they came back with an arrest warrant, and then it ended in him being shot based on a confrontation, presumably, that took place. Then it was written on Facebook by him, perhaps Utah will become famous this week as the place a sniper took out Biden, the Marxist. And again, there is more, but it is so vile, I don't think I would read it on this show. So violent threats being made toward the exact people that lies are constantly being told about when it comes to the prosecution of Trump. Trump is being held accountable for his possible violations of the law, and a lot of people are believing that is some huge wrong, that Trump is being victimized in some terrible way. And believing that so far to then make threats like this. And then based on FBI agents serving an arrest warrant, a life is lost. Craig Robertson shot and killed. Now, I don't have a whole lot of specifics. We don't right now about how this went down. And is it conceivable that the FBI agents did something wrong on their part and escalated it too much? Absolutely. That's always possible. Right now, there's no indication of that. So I'm presuming that the death was not wrongful in the way that the arrest warrant was being served. But still a tragedy based on the fact that he didn't have to buy into the lies that justified in his mind these threats. And of course, the FBI is going to have an interest in checking in on people and holding people to account when they make threats like that are so severe and so explicit as he was outlining on social media to make sure the president is safe. And again, it's a tragedy that it led to what it led to, but it didn't have to. And so on one end, when you think about the way that these lies manifest into real world damage, you can have public officials, the people being lied about, threatened, as was happening, and their lives hurt and their families' lives hurt. And then you can also have those buying into the lies, as we're seeing here, then having their lives lost or their lives hurt. Ashley Babbitt, another example of this. Because of the lies, Ashley Babbitt did the thing she did, and it led to what it did. And so it's all horrible. And it's yet another example of how these lies are bad for being lies, and they're bad for what they can lead to. And this is yet another example of that. One more break. We'll be back after this.